The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Talking politics with Phil Goff.
Leader of the Labour Party, come on in. Phil Goff, good morning.
G'day, Wammo, how are you?
Not bad at all, not bad. Hey, you must be feeling pretty good. You dodged the Judith Tizard bullet.
Well, look, I'm pleased that she's made the decision, and I think she's made the right decision, and I strongly suspect that the other four former members of Parliament that are next on the list will make a similar decision for the same sort of reasons. They were on the list 2.5 years ago. They've left Parliament. They've moved on in their lives. They've taken on new jobs. They've basically said to me, look, it doesn't make sense to come back for 6 months, but Louisa Wall, she's been selected as your candidate for Manarewa. She's young, she's vigorous, she's high-performing. Why not give her a go? Let her come in, because she's looking forward to a long-term future in politics, and we've moved on from there.
Tizard's still firing the mortars, though, into your camp. She's questioning whether or not you'll be able to deal with New Zealand First Leader Winston Peters and the Maori Party co-leader Tariana Turia if you cannot deal with Judith Tizard.
I've been dealing with Judith for 35 years. She and I are old sparring partners, and look, Judith has made the decision. It's the right decision. I respect her for that. And as she said, we don't need to be distracted by this. We need to move on. We need to talk about the issues that are really important. I'm giving a major speech tonight about the electricity market and the proposal National has to hock off all of our assets overseas. That's an issue, the issue that Genesis Energy made $56 million out of the consumers in just 7 hours the other night. Hey, that's an issue. That's something that New Zealanders should worry about. For them, whether it's Judith Tizard or somebody else or Darren Hughes, that's a passing phase. It's behind us. But, they still pay higher prices.
Poor old Darren, he's a passing phase now.
Well, the incident around him is a passing phase. Look, Darren is a good friend of mine. I deeply regret what he's been through, but that's for the police to deal with, and they should deal with it independently and not through trial by media. And that's always been my position.
Let's get on to these issues, because you said you were going to be giving us energy talk. I've just received a press release this morning from the Coal Action Network Aotearoa, which they say that they've just managed to get a hold of the National Party's
leaked cabinet paper.
Draft energy paper, which suggests that Brownlee would no longer be the responsible minister. In fact, Hikia Parata will be. And also, it basically outlines the fact that mining lignite and drilling out in the ocean and digging up coal will all come before renewable energy resources and before issues about climate change.
Yeah, and they've ignored the hundreds of submissions that they received on that energy strategy. Look, they might have changed the minister and dropped Jerry for the time being, but they haven't changed the policy. I mean, Jerry wanted to dig up our national parks for coal. Now they're focusing very much on that side of things. There is a place for coal still in the New Zealand economy. I'm not knocking that. But our focus, particularly in terms of our energy generation, has to be on renewables. It's got to be on wind energy. It's got to be on energy efficiency. It's got to be on solar energy, geothermal, looking where practicable at tidal energy. Those are the things that will restore to New Zealand our proud claim that we are clean, green, 100% pure.
What about
we can do it.
But what about this lignite rubbish? I mean, this is really scraping the bottom of the fossil fuel barrel, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they've listened to what people have been saying. I think they've, Jerry Brownlee always had this idea that the way you'd close John Key's wage gap with Australia is that you'd mine up New Zealand. Well, I'm sorry, the countries aren't even comparable. The real value in New Zealand is that branding of clean, green, 100% pure. That's what sells our tourism, our beverages, our food. And if we want to go somewhere and create a stronger future, what's wrong with clean tech energy? That's the sort of thing that we should be moving on. High tech, high wage, high skill New Zealand, and that's what they're ignoring. What they're not doing.
What about the deep water oil drilling that's planned?
Well, I think that there's got to be totally, so I'm trying to find the right word. It's got to be an absolutely strong guarantee that we're not going to fall down the hole that they did in the Gulf of Mexico and find that the shores of New Zealand are polluted. Now, if they can provide those sort of guarantees that they've learnt the lessons of the Gulf, that it's safe, they need to go through the consultation process with New Zealanders, with iwi. I'm not ruling that out. But all New Zealanders would want to have surety around that, just like all New Zealanders fortunately followed Labour's policy on being non-nuclear, because if we'd gone the way of Fukushima, then the earthquake in Christchurch could have had a devastating effect. Thank God we're nuclear free. We made that decision. We made the right decision in the past, and now you're finding that advocates that said we should have gone in the opposite direction are coming back and supporting us.
Let's say you just mentioned the Christchurch earthquake there. It looks like more jobs going. The Christchurch casino, they're not sure when they're going to open. There's about 500 jobs there. The situation goes from bad to worse.
It does, and what really worries me is that, we're now just about 6 weeks from the last earthquake, Wammo, but we're actually 7 to 8 months from the first earthquake. And where is the skill training policy being put into place so the thousands of people, they estimate probably 9,000 will be made redundant, so that they can upskill or reskill to pick up some of the jobs that will be created in rebuilding Christchurch? I went down and talked to the Christchurch Polytech Institute of Technology. They've got the capacity right now to take people on. They could have taken people on weeks ago, anticipating the demand for skilled labour or semi-skilled labour. They could have started that process of upskilling New Zealanders, and nothing is happening there. And John Key's talking about bringing in people from around the world. Hey, how about employing Kiwis, upskilling Kiwis first, and why aren't they doing it? And I've never had an answer. I've raised it in Parliament. I don't get a clear answer from John Key or the National Party on that.
And let's just quickly look at the issue of paying for Christchurch. The Green Party say that there is large public support out there for a levy rather than borrowing from overseas or making cuts to social services.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm looking at New Zealanders, middle and low income out there that are really squeezed. Their situation's getting worse. It's not getting better. In the last year, for example, sort of staple items that people eat, lamb, milk, cheese, vegetables, have all gone up by over 10%, but wages haven't. I'm reluctant to put more of a burden on middle and low income New Zealanders. I certainly don't approve of what National's doing, wanting to cut back working for families. But if they think that they haven't got enough money, how about going back to the people that got the huge windfall gains out of the tax cuts? John Key, $1,000 a week he got. People at that level need to be the first in line to start paying a bit more if you want to help Christchurch out, not people who are squeezed in the middle and crushed at the bottom.
Phil Goff, thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Thanks, Wammo.
So, Leader of the Labour Party, Phil Goff, there with us. It's